Greetings everyone, Zannrath here, and welcome back to more Everlasting Summer, where last time, well, I think you know where we left off last time, so let's go ahead and, oh, not that one. There we go. There it is. Alright, so, even if what I was going to do was dangerous, in the end, I'm a red-blooded man. Fade to black. At that moment, Yulia was not an all-powerful being to me. I was holding an ordinary girl in my arms. Oh, that was fast. JK. I brought the sleeping Yulia to my cabin. She was surprisingly light. I put her on my bed, collapsed beside her, and closed my eyes. But all my attempts to get sleep failed. I felt a terrible thirst. Quietly, so as not to wake Yulia up, I got out of bed, pulled on my shorts, and went outside. Comrade. On the way to the washstands, I thought about everything that happened. I didn't care about whether it was right or not. No, that wasn't the main issue. I don't think the washstands were toward the square, but that's okay. I decided that I just didn't have any other choice in that situation. Pretty sure you had other choices, man. More important are the possible consequences. Oh, I'm sure there are going to be consequences. Even if Yulia was a little different from me, we could say she was closer to who or what was behind all this, just because she knows more than me. Which means, however, blindly assuming or drawing conclusions about anything is a difficult task in this camp. I was sure of that by now. I quenched my thirst and washed myself. I was going back to the camp leader's cabin, whistling a piece from Peer Gynt by... It's not Greg, it's Grieg. When somebody called out to me. Oh, it's the dude. How did you... I jumped on the spot, turned, and saw the silhouette of that pioneer. There was no chance of seeing his face clearly in this darkness. Of course, there never is. So it's you again. Who, me? Not in the sense that I am the one that... Not in the sense that I am the one that you have already seen, but in the sense of who, in fact, am I? I don't understand. I remember that Yulia told me that he can't do anything, or he can't do any physical harm, and I calmed down a bit. Oh, whatever. Besides, I saw how you were getting it on back there. Are you sure? Because it was pretty quick. That or, I don't know, maybe the dialogue was a little too spicy, so they had to cut the dialogue even, not just the visuals, but the dialogue from the game for Steam. That gave me the heebie-jeebies, I'm sure. No matter how fantastic a situation is, it's always frustrating when you're caught doing something so intimate. Didn't anyone ever tell you that it's not nice to spy on people? You're upset. No, why would I be? I snorted and half turned towards him, trying in vain to see his face. And what has the cat-eared one told you? She has a name. I felt a strong attachment to Yulia, so I didn't hesitate to stand up for her. That's nice. That's cool. That's very chivalrous, I'll say. A name? And what is it? An almighty observer? The double-faced Janus? Yulia, I said, a bit uncertainly. Yulia? He started laughing like a horse on meth. That's an analogy, man. Don't know if the developers have seen horses on meth, but that's certainly something. And who gave it to her? You, probably. Fine, tell me what you want and get lost. Okay, your majesty, just don't be angry. He bowed awkwardly. The sight was so grotesque that I even shuddered. And what has the so-called Yulia told you? I decided that there was no point in hiding the information I'd found out recently. Oh, bad idea, man. She told me that there are many other camps, that you are the same as me, and that after 7 days we leave and never come back. It was disgusting for me to be in the same boat as him, but a fact was still a fact. Yes, that's about right. And what did she tell you about herself? Do you think it's any of your business? Besides, surely you know everything without me. Yes, I know something. I've dealt with her before. His tone was so disgusting that I didn't even want to continue this conversation. Well, if you have nothing more to do... No, wait a minute. I haven't finished yet. Now what? Want me to tell you what she's hiding from me? I was going to say, you probably know something about her, and he's going to tell us now. Or maybe he won't. Go on. I was sure that Yulia had no secrets from me. Hid no secrets from me, or had no secrets? But in my situation, any information could be useful. Never come back? No, they do come back. And you come back. At least you did before. I don't understand. I did tell you that you had already been here, so after 7 days, it doesn't matter whether you leave on a bus or fall asleep in the forest. You'll find yourself sitting in the 410 again. But how? She told you that we just disappear, right? I did not answer. Well, I can't be sure she is lying. Maybe she just doesn't know everything. But what I say or what I said is true. You and I were here. You and I were here many times. Of course, I've been here more times, but that doesn't matter. Okay, then why don't I remember anything? You will remember them all sometime later. That's what happened to me. And you're telling me that there is no escape from here? Yes, I am. I remember you told me that what happened today had never happened before, right? True. This is the first time. And how can you explain that? I won't. You're hoping that something will change? No way it will. We'll see about that. I decisively turned and walked away. To my surprise, the pioneer did not even try to stop me. Hey, you're up. I returned to the cabin, found Yulia carefully combing her tail. You were talking to him again. Did her color change? Or has that always been like that? I don't know. No, I think it's the same. Never mind. How did you know? Or how do you know? For a moment, I had doubts. Just guess. He is supposed to appear when you're alone. Yes, and? He told me that nobody disappears, that we come back. Yulia didn't answer anything. Is that so? To tell you the truth, I don't know. I sat on the bed beside her and began to think. I don't know how long we were sitting there, but I soon started to fall asleep. Let's go watch the stars. Let's go. I wanted to sleep badly, but at the same time I felt a sense of incompleteness and was hoping fresh air would clear my thoughts. Comrade again. A few minutes later, we were at the square. Weren't we watching the stars with, I think it was Lena? Right? I sat on the bench and Yulia put her head on my lap and stared at the sky. Isn't it beautiful? It is. We sat in silence for quite a long time. So, what will happen tomorrow? What do you mean? Well, tomorrow is the 7th day, so it's time to leave. Do you want to leave? Suddenly, I was struck by a realization. I have heard this question many times before. According to you and him, even if I don't want to, I must. So, let's leave. She smiled. Will you come with me? Of course I will. After all this, you must definitely marry me. Yeah, man, you gotta take responsibility. I don't know a single administration that would register marriages with cat girls. I'm pretty sure there are some in Japan. Just saying. I mean, they did marry a guy to, one of the dating sim characters, right? So I'm sure they can recognize cat girls. So we'll look for one. Okay, seriously though, what will happen tomorrow? In the evening, the bus will come. You sure about that? Absolutely sure. It always comes. And we will take it. And then? Why are you asking all these stupid questions? Yulia protested. How should I know? Well, make a guess. And we will go back to your world. That would be... I stopped. We'll see. I sighed. And what about you and your many selves? Wait, I thought she just like simultaneously existed in every world. I thought he had many selves. I only look like this here, right? Over there, I will just be regular me. Okay. See, that makes sense. I mean, because all the other girls look completely different from what they look like here. Sure, with cat ears and a tail. Yulia hit me painfully in the ribs. Not playfully, painfully. Hey, I'm joking. Yeah. Maybe without a tail. Just the cat ears then? She said sadly. I mean, it could be hair. She could style it into her hair into ears. I'm sure that's possible. No, I like it. Don't think anything like that. She said nothing, just closed her eyes. And what's it like over there? It's different. That's the best way I can put it. Some things are better, some are worse. We've got internet. Oh man, that's great. I chuckled. And what would I do there? Reddit all day, right? Russian 4chan. I don't know what's the... Is 4chan just 4chan in Russia? I don't know. Well, I don't know. Let's solve the problems as they come. Oh, you could be in one of those cat girl cafe things. Boom. Done. Alright. We sat there for a long time, talking all sorts of foolish things. Finally, Yulia said, "Let's go to sleep," or "Let's go sleep." Yes, good timing. I felt a wave of terrible fatigue. Tomorrow is time to pack our things. So she's got to pack her mushrooms, the sugar, yeah. But I have nothing to pack. How about that? He has nothing to pack. But you know what? I have. You have what? You do? For example, I giggled good-naturedly. I just can't imagine what she was planning to take. What about my supplies for winter? There you go. My supplies for the winter. Apples, nuts, mushrooms. Do you really think you'll need all that? Of course. She jumped up and looked at me sternly. I'm going to sleep and you can do whatever you want. Uh-oh, she seems mad. With these words, Yulia marched briskly towards the camp leader's cabin. Hey, I rushed after her. After entering the cabin, Yulia immediately undressed, snuck into the bed, and pulled the blanket over her head. I didn't mean anything like that. If you want to take your stores, let's take them. In the end, they could be useful for us, especially in my situation where anything could happen. I was just joking. She peeked out from under the blanket and stuck out her tongue. I feel like a "nah" is in store, right? Because that's what they always do when they stick out their tongue. And they pull one of their eyelid, or the bottom. I don't know if it's a lid or not. They pull the bottom part of their eye down. I don't know why they do that, but yeah. And now sleep, commanded Yulia. I didn't mind it, so I undressed, lay down beside her, and we fell asleep holding each other. Ah, how kawaii. Alright, day 7. Come on, let's go. I had a strange dream. No, of course, being here in this camp was extremely strange by itself, incomparable with any normal nighttime dreams. However, in this dream, everything seemed so real that... But when I woke up, I couldn't remember a thing. There were only vague images of a long driveway, an old rusted bus, the rickety gates of the camp, collapsed statues of pioneers, and an abandoned square. I ran through Sovionok back and forth, as if trying to find someone, but exactly who remained a mystery to me. When I woke up, the sun was already setting. Really? It looks pretty bright to me. A bright sunbeam. Maybe it's supposed to be rising. Oops. When I woke up, the sun was already setting. Alright. A bright sunbeam was lighting up the dust drifting in the silence of the room and painting it with all colors of the rainbow. Reflections on the glass took on different outlines. Look from one angle, and it's just the spot of sun. Look from another, and it's a pirate waving his cutlass. Okay, that's cool. I stretched lazily and yawned. Hey, look at that. I turned... she's dressed again. I'm sure this is the edited version. Turning to the other side, I saw Yulia sleeping peacefully next to me. Good morning, said Yulia without opening her eyes. It's daytime already. Morning starts when you wake up. You're talking just the same way I did before. So now you've changed your mind? Well, I don't know. During the last week, I got used to getting up in the morning. That was not entirely true because I didn't always wake up with the sunrise and regularly missed the lineup. You want to say that you've changed? Exactly, that's the point of this game, right? She giggled. I think any man in my position would change, at least a little. It seemed quite natural to me. Yes, perhaps, I won't argue. A long silence followed. The kind of silence where you are not tortured by the need to say something just to break the oppressive awkwardness. This silence could say more than any words. Well, we're leaving today. Or we're leaving today? I asked finally. I think so. You think? You mean you're not even sure? Not completely. This is happening for the first time. You mean the disappearance of the pioneers? Not just that. She got out of bed and started to dress. I looked at her mesmerized, unable to look away. What are you looking at? Or what you are looking at? What are you looking at? Get up, it's time to pack. You mean your berries and mushrooms? Of course. Yulia stood arms akimbo and looked at me resentfully. Do you want all my supplies to be gone? Of course not, I don't. To tell the truth, I didn't really give a damn about them. To be precise, I just didn't see the point of stocking food for a one-way journey, at least without a return ticket for sure. A few minutes later, we were standing in the same forest glade where the day before Yulia had been sprinkling a mushroom with sugar. There we go. Got the emphasis correct, I think. She went behind a tree, threw aside the leaves, and pulled out a heavy sack. All this isn't all. This is just what's necessary. I couldn't put what I planned to say in a nice way, so I decided to say nothing. There you go. The sack was filled with mushrooms, berries, apples, nuts, all mixed up. It's like trail mix, except no nut. Or wait, she did have nuts, right? Without the M&Ms. Although I've never had mushrooms in trail mix, so hey. I immediately had serious doubts about the fitness for human consumption of this assorted lot. Take it, said Yulia, pointing at the sack with an easy smile, of course. Well, I hope you understand that I won't be able to... No, you're strong. Look how massive you are. She used her hands to indicate the difference in her height. I tried to lift the sack. Yeah, at least she's taller than Olyana, I guess. I tried to lift the sack. It weighed at least 30 kilos, but for some reason she's able to pick it up, right? Look, let's take some of it. We won't be able to eat this all anyway. Eat this all. I was trying to cheat. Why not? Winters are long in these lands. How would you know that? I guessed. I tried to make the most painful grimace I could. I can manage it to the square at most. Have mercy on me. Yulia thought a little. Okay, then throw out the berries. Reasonable. I probably will go bad the quick gifts. Actually, I'm not sure about mushrooms. What a great solution. Get rid of the lightest stuff. However, I didn't object, and so put my hands into the sack. Can't say I got any lighter. I said when I finished with the berries. I don't want to hear it. I sighed and sank helplessly to the ground next to the sack. Then let's carry it in turns. But it's heavy, exclaimed Yulia. That's what I'm telling you. I mean, it's heavy for me, as if it's light for me. I muttered under my breath, trying to make Yulia not hear it. It is light for you. It seems I should not understand her cat ears. Yeah, underestimate. Okay, let's come back here. For now, it would be nice to have something to eat. Well, maybe. She smiled and held out her hand to me. The canteen was filled with the smell of fried potatoes. Yulia flittered around me, watching me cook. To tell the truth, I never found any special pleasure in doing this. I always wanted to start eating immediately without waiting for all the ingredients to be prepared, the water to boil, the dumplings to float up. They're making like potato dumplings, I guess, maybe. Fried, though? I don't know. That's why I'm usually fine with eating sandwiches or fast food. You're doing so well. I told you there's nothing special to it. But, you try to find words. But you're doing well anyway. I'm glad you like it. Of course I like it. Judging by the way Yulia was demolishing the potatoes, she actually enjoyed my simple culinary creation. Are you worried? Chew first, then speak. What a lout. You must behave in polite society. What kind of society are we in here? Yulia spread her hands to the side and laughed. That was true. The canteen was empty, just like the whole camp. What do you think? Where are they all gone to? Where have they all gone to? How should I know? She picked up the last piece with her fork and deftly she picked up the last piece with her fork and deftly popped it into her mouth. You missed them? Sort of. What about me? I'm better than any stray dog. Another quote. I don't know that either. I didn't pay any special attention to it this time. Given that you're some kind of cat, you've definitely got your quotes right. Are you feeling lonely? Well, I'm not alone here. Just the two of us. But if what happened didn't happen, I stopped for a moment. So in other realities, you and me weren't so close? Well, that's a good way to put it, I think. Yulia finished for me. Yes. No. It's strange. Why? Well, because there are a lot of camps, as you say, and according to the theory of probability, which means that everything that happened within the last 2 days is really something exceptional. That's true. You say that as if it was bad, or as if it's bad. Of course not. I felt the blood rush to my head. I'm sure it's rushing to other places too, man. Just strange. There are a lot of strange things here. That's why I use the word so often. Anyways, you're just nitpicking. Who, me? Never. She laughed. No, you're seriously nitpicking, especially when it comes to words. Why would I do that? I can't even imagine. You'd know better. Seems like for any of my arguments she She already had an answer prepared, as if she knew in advance what I will say. Well, that's interesting. Forget it, so let's go. Where? I realized that saying this was a big mistake. She'll definitely drag me back to that sack. Well, there is enough time till the bus arrives, so we could... Alright, the supplies. I just scratched my chin and followed her. Epic fail. Carrying nearly 25 kilos is not easy, even for a short distance. I stopped every 50 meters to rest. Yulia hurried and encouraged me, but it was just making things worse. I didn't know if I deserved a medal in some strange sack of cat girl supply short distance carrying event, but about an hour later, the sack was transported to the bus stop. I collapsed beside it, exhausted. That's it. There's no like cart or anything at these camps. I would have gone to like the robotics club and try to get something, like at least with wheels. You can like fashion something to roll this sack around, can't you? You're such a hero. See, nothing to be afraid of. My whole body ached, my muscles burned, the rivers of sweat flowed from my forehead, stinging my eyes. I don't know what reward I was owed for this, but this competition was more like the Olympic for mentally challenged people. Though I won, I'm still a retard. Huh. That's an interesting, joke to throw in there. I don't know. Look, the bus is coming. What? I jumped up, my fatigue vanished in an instant. Something could indeed be seen in the distance. I narrowed my eyes and saw the Icarus. But why? Yulia told me that it would arrive closer to the night. Moreover, I expected the Lithium Arizona bus. Soon, the bus stopped in front of us and the door opened, inviting us in. The driver's seat was empty, of course, but I was not really surprised. Much stranger things had happened here. Coming? Yulia easily jumped onto the first step and gestured for me to follow her. Don't you think it's weird that buses go by themselves? Well, she thought about that. Of course it's strange, but you said it yourself that there are plenty of strange things here. She was right on that one. Anyway, I had no choice. In either case, whether I stay or whether I go on the bus, I'm not sure what will come next. But in case of the second choice, I had at least an illusory hope of escaping from this camp. I sighed and, with one last effort, lifted the sack and got onto the bus. We drove for about an hour. Yulia was constantly chattering about something, but I wasn't listening. Oh, that's great, man. Rule 1, right? Is you always gotta listen. I carefully studied the passing landscape through the window. Forests, fields, rivers, forests, fields, absolutely nothing suspicious. On the one hand, this gave me some hope, but on the other, it was a sign that in the end, nothing will change, because in this world, it seems everything is slow and measured, following its well-established rules. That's how it was, at least a few days ago. Although, maybe I shouldn't be drawing conclusions after having been there only a week. Well, now I'm sure everything will be fine. I looked at her carefully. Cat ears, long tail that moved rhythmically back and forth, slightly enlarged fangs. Yulia seemed like a character from a fairy tale. We can decide what to do with her in the real world later. I was turning into one big throbbing vein, ready to burst any moment. I was waiting for how this will end. The results could be anything. For me, it was important not to go crazy ahead of time. My nerves were stretched to the limit, and I tried not to think about anything. But it was impossible to distract myself. Hey, are you even listening? Huh? No, sorry, I was deep in thought. Well, as always, she pouted. Now it's such a big moment, you know. We can get out of this camp. So it's a very important moment for me. Well, it's important for me too, but I'm not worried. You simply can't see this in context. What do you mean? Before, I lived in a different world, the real one, as it seemed, so I have something to compare this camp to, and we can say, were born here. No, I wasn't. How do you know? I just know. I know that... The bus peacefully bounced over the bumps, shaking me more and more. The steering wheel was turning on its own, and I soon stopped noticing the absence of a driver. My eyes began to close and I dozed off. Some girl bent over me. She was gently whispering something in my ear, so tenderly that she slapped me. I felt a strong blow on the head. Hey, don't sleep. Wait, so this other girl is not Yulia? So that girl that, was it the very first day when we came in here? This girl was talking to us on the bus or whatever. That was not her. That was not Yulia. Well, I guess we'll find out. Hey, don't sleep. Am I disturbing you? I asked in annoyance, rubbing the bruised place. You're not listening to me. If we escape from here, we'll have lots of time for conversation. If we don't escape, then we will have even more time. That's very true. I tried to smile, but just thinking that we wouldn't ever leave this camp frightened me a lot. So I gave a stupid grin. It's better if we don't escape, because in your world, I don't know what to expect there. But you won't pay any attention to me at all. I will, I promise. I hugged her sincerely. Really? Truly? Really, truly. Yulia leaned against me. And you'll listen to me? Of course. And you'll always agree with me? Oh, come on, Semyon. Sure. She pulled away and looked into my eyes. Well then, I forgive you. What? A loud laugh filled the bus cabin. But be careful. Don't you forget about that. Or try to deceive me. Want to sign a contract? A marriage contract? I don't have the property for that anyway. You have property to get married in Russia? But I do. Yulia pointed at the bag lying in the aisle. Well then, I try to remember what I'd brought or what I'd bought with my money. Here. I took my mobile phone out of my pocket, but by this time it was already out of charge. What's that? Yulia asked curiously, taking the mobile. A very useful thing in my world. You can communicate with people at a distance. Wow, that's really cool. Excellent. What do I do? Or that will do. Oh, is it like a... What do you call it? It's like a dowry? I think that's female's family to male's family, right? Dowry? Or is it the other way around? I don't know. And then there's a reverse one too, which I would have less clue of what it is or what it's called. She put the mobile on the seat. Deal then? My supplies for winter are from me, and from you is that thing. Okay, deal. Alright, now we are husband and wife. Smooth. Or great. I don't know what to say to that. She smiled slyly. Hey, wait. I suddenly remembered that all this conversation has started with a marriage contract. Oh, maybe she's pregnant. Maybe that's why she wants to get married. Huh. Anyways, without an official registration, when we get to your world, we will register our marriage. A man without a wife is like a kitchen without a knife. Hey, that rhymed. That was pretty... Is that a quote too? If we get there, of course. Yulia said nothing, but just stared straight forward with her eyes wide open. Wait, don't you also need a witness? Like, even if you get, like, a civil marriage, whatever, like, just in a courtroom, not like a big, marriage celebration, I'm pretty sure you still need a witness to sign off to say that you got married, right? So, is that not the case in Russia? Can you just get married and, like, that's it? Like, no one has to see it? You just have to have it recognized by someone? Oh, hey, what? I followed her gaze and realized the bus was full of people. All of them were wearing Pioneer uniforms, and they all look exactly like that Pioneer. Oh, goodness. Wait, where's the cat girl? The other one. Or at least the girl who was, like, putting her hands on her ears. She was, like, sitting over here. Not on her ears, on her head. To make it look like cat ears. They all look kind of different. Nobody said a single word. They just looked silently in my direction. I could not see their faces, clothes, statures. Yes, I thought you just said that they were wearing Pioneer uniforms. I guess you can kind of see the silhouettes, so I'll buy that. Oh wait, no, I could not see their faces. Clothes and stature, sure. Okay, never mind. Clothes, stature, yes, but their faces were shrouded in a shadow that seemed to appear from nowhere. It was as if, instead of the heads that normal people have, they had many black holes. I started to shiver and my back broke out in goosebumps. Yulia squeezed my hand. With an enormous effort, I forced myself to look at her. She was very scared too. If I was alone at that moment, I would probably have fainted. But right now, I was responsible for more than only my own life. Who are you? I graded out with difficulty. Pioneers maintained the terrifying silence. It became hard to breathe. I was gasping for breath, but my brain refused to work on low oxygen. I lost consciousness for a moment. Who are you? What do you want? I heard Yulia shout just as I regained my senses. Pioneer stood up from the first seat and walked towards us. Hey, buddy. Hi, Semyon. We have decided to go back home, too. Two. A chorus of voices filled the bus. We'll keep you company. I didn't know what to say. This was the strangest situation I had yet to experience in the camp. Neither Yulia, nor the city, nor the disappearance of pioneers, nor the strange person standing before me were comparable with this. I asked you a question. It seems like Yulia was still able to speak clearly. Not a surprise in the end, she was still, you could say, an extraordinary being. I repeat, we are just going home. His voice sounded frantic. Are we bothering you? Bothering. What do you want from us? Nothing at all. Nothing. I don't believe you. I know there's a reason for you to be doing all this. It's just your imagination, animal. Maybe I am an animal, but what are you? A ghost? A shadow? Maybe. Ghosts have their rights too. You have the right to get out of the hell. You have the right to get the hell out of here. I was trying to do that quick because I imagine that's how she would just blurted it out, right? But I choked. Yulia shouted so loud that my ears rang, but neither the pioneer nor his companions reacted. I guess we'll stay, he said maliciously. But how did you manage this, and all the others? At last, I gathered the strength to speak. It's simple, my dear friend. Collective mind. Heard about it? Oh, okay. See? So anywhere I am, he can be too. And so, every one of us wanted to wish you luck simultaneously. That's all. Luck. In person, I would say. That's the reason we're here. But what will happen next? Come on, let's go. Honestly, I have no idea. Get out. Yulia shouted again. Be cool. You settle down. You see, he addressed me again. I don't want to hide anything from you. You have a good chance of get out of here now. I don't exactly know why, but your actions broke the cycle. Cycles, to be precise. All our cycles. There is a chance that we won't have to leave this camp every 7 days and return back on the 8th, waking up in this bus. Then don't return, just die. It's not that simple. And why shouldn't we have a sense of self-preservation? We should, right? He asked the pioneers. Should. I heard their responses. So we decided to keep you company. Now, either we all get out of here together or we'll all vanish forever together. Or start another cycle. All three options suit us. And what if we die because of you? Well, you won't die alone. We'll die with honor. Well, of course. Honor. Or do you think that our lives, he laughed, well, what we call lives, are they not as important as yours? Yulia didn't know how to answer. And don't think that all of us are here. In fact, many more of us didn't fit in, but there were enough tickets for everyone. You, Yulia hissed. It's too late. I don't think she does. She doesn't seem to have fangs. I was kind of waiting for a shot where her mouth was open, but I don't. It's usually, as you know, do cats have canines like the dogs do? Pretty sure they do, right? Like they'd be right here. Anyways, it's too late. I suggested you calm down and enjoy the flight. Stewardess will offer you food and drinks in a couple of minutes. He grinned and went back to his place. Yulia jumped up, but I stopped her. Let me go. I'll take him down. No need. What can you do to him? What good will it do? She looked at me in surprise, but sat down. So what? Are you suggesting we don't do anything, just wait? What can we do? I don't know, but we shouldn't be just sitting. I've learned one thing for sure in this camp. Very little is up to me. Actually, nothing at all. Especially now. Especially here. I have not the slightest idea what to do to drive them out of here. But even if I knew, I am sure that nothing will change. Nothing would affect the final outcome. You may be right, Yulia said in a sad voice. We can only wait then. It won't take long. She put her head on my shoulder. We had been going for such a long time, it seemed like an eternity. The sun had set and night fell. Seconds lasted for hours, minutes for years. The pioneers remained dead silent, and even that one, the arrogant one, didn't try to start a conversation. The silence was louder than any shouts. A quiet clap would be enough to make my eardrums explode. Me and Yulia stayed silent too. Everything had been said today, there were no words left. I felt totally empty, my head was as heavy as lead, and it seemed that I was already dead, but God and the devil had just forgotten about me. So you're in purgatory. Not really. So I would have to spend the rest of eternity alone in this silent mass of pioneers. Are they really my colleagues in misfortune? Did they really come to this camp, spend a week, spend a week here and then leave, and then have to do it all over again? Maybe it would be the same for me, as the pioneer said. Anything is possible. Anything is possible now. I heard a quiet snoring from Yulia. She'd fallen asleep. All that stress must have been too much for her. Or maybe she used up all her energy shouting. In any case, it's better to face the end while sleeping. Now it's absolutely certain that this was the end. It's stupid to cling to hope while standing on the edge of the cliff, surrounded by countless enemies. And even if there was the smallest chance of rescue, you wouldn't really think about it. Maybe it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be this way, and someone else would have more optimism in my place. I just had to take the last step. Why though? These are not stairs, but an escalator. It will get me to the finish in any case. And I fell asleep. I closed my eyes and my consciousness left me at once. I fell asleep. I don't know whether it would last for an hour or for eternity. Alright, let's see it. Emptiness is not the best place for thoughts. When there is nothing, the essence of the normal world disappears. In the end, thoughts are a part of it too, just an immaterial one. It is difficult to imagine where existence ends. A person is not supposed to figure it out. Is that me? Why am I naked? Emptiness. Oh, I already said that. I regain consciousness in complete darkness. To be precise, I regained the ability to perceive myself as a person. There was nothing else, neither around nor inside me. It was like I ceased to exist, was erased from the universe, but I wasn't dead, no. It was totally different, as if I had moved from three-dimensional space to one-dimensional. Also, we're a dot now. The whole world compressed to the size of one dot. Reverse Big Bang, maybe. That dot was me, was everything. I was everything, and at the same time, was nothing. However, my consciousness, my memories, my soul went into that tiny patch too. I wasn't afraid, maybe because there was no need, or maybe because I still couldn't understand what was happening. Yeah, you're right, I don't understand what's happening either. I'm not sure how this is supposed to resolve itself. All sense of time was lost here. There was simply no such term here. That's why it was impossible to tell how long I had been in that emptiness. Finally, after an hour or a year, I started to hear a quiet voice. I couldn't make out the words, but I was the one it spoke to. Actually, there was no one else. Semyon. Oh, is it the voice that sent me like that message? Like when we got the Semyon bad ending, like did we get messages from people? It was like random mysterious person. Yes. I thought you said you couldn't make out the words, but okay. I replied as if answering a phone. That's how you answer the phone? Yes. Nice to meet you. The voice sounded very close. We've known each other for a long time, though. Who are you, game dev? I am you. Oh, okay. Did I die? No, nothing like that. The voice sounded calm, as if speaking to an old friend. So, what's happening to me? You have reached the end of your path. Exactly. What path? You have managed to leave the camp. Yes, I remember. The Sovionok Pioneer Camp. Suddenly I remembered the last 7 days. I remembered how I was leaving there together with Yulia. Where is Yulia? Yes, she's right here. I looked around, but there was only emptiness around. I don't see her. You shouldn't see her. You should feel. Ooh. I wasn't tense at all, as if I was recovering from an anesthesia. I don't feel anything. You just have to remember. Oh, she didn't make it out with us, huh? Wow, it's a long paragraph. After these words, thousands of pictures, images, smells, thoughts reappeared in my mind. The camp, I was there for real. With Slavia, with Lena, with Alyssa, with Ilyana, with Masha. And then, but how? I clearly remember that I left it and came back to the real world, and then I met Slavia at a bus stop. Yep, here's the meta part of the game, right? No, I met Ulyana at university. No, I met Alyssa at a concert. But I have lived with Leto for so many years. No, I had a completely different life with Masha. Wait, wasn't Masha's end just the harem ending? So, how is all of that even possible? I remembered events of almost 5 lifespans in the smallest of details, but everything happened simultaneously, and I am sure that it was all real. How? Yes, all of it really happened to you, but how? You left the camp, not just once, then you lived your normal life. Oh. Then you came back and left again. Wait, so it's like... Is it like Groundhog's Day kind of thing, except instead of resetting every day, it's like every lifespan? So, like, I go to the camp, I leave, I live the life, and, whatever ending I get with whichever girl, and then at some point it just, like, resets later on. Oh, that's interesting. So... Was it like I died and was revived? No. You can think of it all happening. You can think that it all happened simultaneously. I don't understand. You don't need to. Right. Physicists will figure it out, right? The multiverse and all that stuff. They'll figure it out. And who are those other pioneers? They are you too. The other sides of you. I don't understand. Every person is an endless universe. His own actions determine how his life will proceed. You remember those 5 times because those were times you took choices that led you out of the camp. Your other replicas acted differently somewhere. That's it. It's all that simple. Oh, so the first time around when I died, or followed the voice with Semyon, and then I lost, that spawned one other incarnation of me maybe, and then I got out of the camp, and I was just alone. Because that spawned another incarnation of me. Yeah. That's it, it's all that simple. Didn't we I think I postulated that, right? It was like every time I started a cycle, it created a new me, and then I repeated, and then that one stayed as is. But then that didn't really make sense. I don't know. For me, it wasn't that simple. And what is this camp? You can consider it a testing ground. And who are you? I am you, but from a long time after. Not time as you see it, I am beyond and above all of you. You can consider me as the prime Semyon. So, are you the reason for all this? That's not exactly true. Everything did not happen according to my will, but I can control these events. But why? Are you against it? I lost myself in thought, at least as lost as it was, or as was possible in such an obscure state of mind. I don't know. If you were given an option now, when you know and remember everything, would you decide to take it back to the start and just forget everything? I don't know. I wasn't ready to answer such a difficult question. Anyway, where is Ilya? She is right here. Where? Inside of you. I'm pretty sure I was inside of her. Wink. No, just kidding. How's that? Yulia is your inner world, your consciousness, which has gained form. Yeah, when he said, I didn't really pick up on that early on, but when he said inside of you, I was like, yeah, she's probably like some sort of like feeling or like emotion that manifested itself. So that explains why. That explains why when we had that censored scene, why it was so quick. Yeah. All right. I couldn't comprehend his words. You don't need to try to understand, I already said, but I felt that I missed her. Don't be afraid, she will always be with you. I don't think I wanted this exact union just yesterday. The hardest thing is to make inner peace, not peace with an enemy, and you have done it. If you want to love her, you have to learn how to love yourself. Exactly, right? That's kind of what this whole game was about. It's developing as a character, learning to like make something of ourselves, appreciate who we are, and go out and do stuff with our life. Well, that's enough for you. It's time for me to leave. Wait, what will happen to me? You'll go back, of course. Well, actually not, because I'm pretty sure this is the end, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to call the series after this, but hey, you can always try. I already didn't understand what was real and what was not, or how many realities there are. Where to? It depends only on you. I don't understand. You have to remember all the possible variations of events now. He paused for a long time and I didn't dare to say anything, just so I wouldn't accidentally interrupt him. So, you have at least 5 options. Will I remember all this? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you will. That's up to you to decide. A trace of emotion appeared in his voice for a moment, maybe joy or maybe dissatisfaction. Farewell. But I could feel that the voice will never speak to me again. Oh man, do we not have junk? Time passed. We're like a Ken doll. Time passed. I tried to decide what to do next. If everything is as he said, then I just have to wish. By that time, I had completely calmed down and couldn't even say cheered up a bit. I was totally sure that I had got out of that enchanted camp. Moreover, a bright future awaited me. I don't know it. I didn't know it. I remembered it. But what should I choose? I closed my eyes and clearly imagined Slavia smiling at me. She was always willing to help me and never scolded me for anything. I'm pretty sure she did, right? It is always calm and safe being with her. And that meeting at the bus stop, I guess I never thought about being with her in real life, but that would be amazing. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure. Throughout so many years, Lena had grown truly precious to me. I actually remember all that time I spent with her, or all that time spent with her. I remember our kids, remember times of joy and sorrow, remember everything. It is hard to reject all that. Or Alyssa, dearly hugging her guitar. It's never boring with her. Maybe that's the life I always dreamed of. Simple, laid back, and fun. Maybe that's the girl I ever wished for, a loyal tomboy. Alyssa's image in my thoughts smiled slyly. The grown-up Olyana seemed like a good option too. Of course, back in the camp, I didn't treat her as a woman, but now, obviously, she's got her cons. Obviously, she's got her cons, but at the same time, there was a sense of magic in her, something attractive. And of course, Miku, Masha from that other life. She was truly precious to me. Maybe back there, the camp is just a small episode, and I must be completely different from myself in all the other paths. But that's for the best. New opportunities, possibilities, and that person I love, a person who I seemingly knew my entire life. But it is still sad that I will never see Yulia again. You certainly will! Her voice sounded in my head. What? Oh, maybe that's why no one else can see her. I think that kind of makes sense. But wait, didn't Olga say something about a girl who wasn't a pioneer telling her that she saw me and Olyana? I'm still not sure how that fits in, but okay. I mean, because yeah, if she is just a part of me, like the voice said, then I can understand why people don't see her. And that also kind of explains why the other pioneers can see her, because they are me. Yeah, and I can maybe understand why there's a legend about her stealing food then. I don't know. Not exactly sure what to make of that. What? Where are you? I'm right here, like you said. You knew? No, I understood it only when we came here. I'm trying to think, did they set this up? Like, were there clues sprinkled throughout, like, with Semyon's interaction with Yulia, that we could have, like, piece this together and, kind of, like, realize that, yeah, all along she was, you know, just a part of me. Other than what I just mentioned, right? No one else can see her, all that stuff. Was there anything in the conversations that she said? Well, I guess we'll find out. No, I understood it only when we came here. Are you okay with it? Won't you miss me? Of course not. I will always be with you. Okay, they're not really going to explain it. Do you remember your promise? What promise? That you'll always be with me? Yeah, and you'll always agree with me? Yes. Don't ever think to break it. I'll be watching you. I don't know if I will ever speak to her like that again. Maybe one could simply go nuts from that. But right now, I was happy. Alright, I won't forget. Then you just have to make a choice. Uh-oh. I felt Yulia disappear, vanishing in the labyrinth of my mind. Well, it's time. I closed my eyes tight and... Is there one last choice I'm supposed to make? Whoa. What's going on? Is that me? Or is that a girl? That's me, pretty sure. My eyes were struck by the bright sunlight. Nothing surprising about that. It is summer after all. It's that strange dream again. Why did I start seeing it so often recently? Maybe there is a reason. Still, why? A pioneer camp, some girls, the camp leader. I had never been to the camp. Maybe you just don't remember.
Very funny. But what if... Trust me, I clearly remember everything that's happened to me since I was 3 years old. And before that, I was probably at an unconscious age. Even if that is true, all of this is not accidental. Why is it not accidental? Why are we talking to ourselves? There are people who can see a black cat in their dreams every night and nothing happens. Did you just make that up? I haven't made up anything. I read about it recently. A black cat is one thing, such a detailed dream is something else. I don't see much difference. Okay, then what would you say about the voice? That voice. What voice? Don't play the fool. I wasn't planning to. Which told you to make a choice? Well, a voice, so what? There was a reason. But I don't remember anything else. The dream ends there. Maybe you forget it when you wake up? Maybe, but what? That means that you actually made a choice. I don't even remember the options. Were there any? There should have been. You don't even try to be serious about the important things as always. Oh my god, it's so important. There's no one talking to you. Or there's no point talking to you. Recently I started to notice that I have something like a split personality. Yeah, there you go. An inner monologue is certainly a normal phenomenon for any person, but when it turns into a dialogue, well, it is still a long way from being a clinical case because I talk to myself and not another personality inside my head or my mind, maybe with my own subconscious. However, that is not important. Oh no! I actually have to make a choice. Is there like that much more to this game? I kind of thought like after like, oh yeah, your inner self, you'll just like, you have to learn to love yourself, all that kind of jazz. I thought it was gonna end there. I wasn't expecting to make another choice. That's why I went for so long. Well, I guess. You know what? I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and just end it right here. Maybe I'll save this as an extra save file, just in case. I don't know, just in case of what. But yeah, was not expecting this. So I guess next time is the real end, and I guess we'll just go through all of these and see what's up. But I guess I'll talk about a little bit about what went down. So I guess Yulia is a part of me. She's like a voice inside my head, my consciousness, or something like that. So I don't know how to feel about that, but like I said, I can kind of understand it. Now we have a choice to make. Who we get to choose. In all honesty, if it like when I first started playing the game, I was leaning more towards Lena, and then at least of the main four, and then I don't know, Miku / Masha I was also considering her, but I figured that she was kind of like a side character because she wasn't there as often. So I probably would go with Masha, and then if I had to choose between the main four, I'd probably go with Lena. I don't know how I feel about Yulia, but I think I'm just gonna go down the list next time, or maybe up the list. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and save these choices for next time, and we'll see how that works out. So until then, thank you for watching. Bye.